Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this triple easel card. I'm going to try and tip it up to show you, but I'll be careful because one down, all down. Make sure I stay in screen as well. Okay, so that's what it looks like more front ways on. That's moving, come back. Okay, and if I tip it sideways, okay, it packs flat to go into an envelope by putting the small one down first and then the medium and then that one, and it does fit into our regular envelopes. It will be tight for US envelopes because I believe your envelopes are 5 3/4 inches long. Ours are 6 1/4, and this measures 5 1/2. So when I get to, there is one bit in particular that I reach where I can think of a way of making this shorter for you, so you could follow all the instructions except when I get to putting those on. Okay, let's try and remember that. Now I'm going to start off by telling you the card pieces that we need, but obviously there are an awful lot of layers here. I think there's 15 altogether, and for you to sit and watch me adhere 15 pieces of DSP and cardstock together, it's going to be rather tedious, so I have actually done that in advance. But what I haven't done is I haven't done the scoring, the folding and all of that. So because I've already done all of mine, I don't have all the pieces, but I'm going to tell you what all the pieces are. And I'm only going to tell you what the inches are. The metrics will be in the box below, but because I'm saying, I think I said it was 15 pieces altogether, that's 15 measurements, that's an awful lot to say again in metric. It just makes the video go on longer and longer, but I will put them below. So first of all, let me tell you, I'm not doing that card, I'm not doing the same as that. I'm going to be using Bird Ballad, and my Bird Ballad, I have got two options for you. One is for those of you like me that enjoys fussy cutting, and I think this may finish up as a masculine card. The alternative is I have one, in fact I just had another thought. The other one is not fussy cutting, but I'm not sure that that will be masculine, but thinking about it, there's a bird in the stamp set, so that could still make it masculine. I'll explain more as I go along. So first of all, let me tell you the card pieces that you're going to need. Now these first 6 are really what you're going to need. So first of all, you need a piece that's 8 inches by 4 inches, one piece that's 3 inches by 6 inches, and one piece that's 2 inches by 4 inches. And then you need one piece that is 4 inches by 4 inches, one that is 3 inches by 3 inches, and another one that is 2 inches by 2 inches. So that's all the crumb cake. Now with Whisper White, what you need is 2 pieces that measure 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches, 2 pieces that measure 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 inches, and 2 pieces that measure 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 inches. And then on the Designer Series paper, I'm using the 6x6 Designer Series paper stack in crumb cake. This is this year's design. The previous years, if you got the previous year design, those are the two that I'd use. I'd use the stripy one without the white, which is that one, and I'd use the white dots. Okay, but obviously the choice is yours. It depends which ones you've got. The designs on the other side of these are this, but these are my choices. And the reason I'm saying 2 designs, you could use the same design all over like I have done with this, but I think it probably look better with different designs, and I'm going to use the gingham design up here and the script I'm going to use on the floor, on the ground. Okay, so first of all we're going to need to use our trimmer for our 3 largest pieces of crumb cake. So let me bring this over first. So on the piece that is 4 by 8, you need to score at 2 inches. And don't use your wrong blade. And then at 4 inches. And then on the 3 by 6, you need to score at 1.5 and 3, and then on the 2 by 4 you need to score that at 1. I'm going to line that over the other side, it's easier. Okay, so line it up at 1, turn it around, and then line it up at 2. I hope that hasn't confused you. Basically, I've got that as halfway, and then that one is halfway between that. Okay, so that's all you're going to need your trimmer for. Now all 3 of these need to have really, really good creases in them. Whether your card behaves itself as far as standing up is concerned will be largely dependent on how well you've done your creases here. Okay, so just make sure it's really good and creased as best as you can. Right, now what I want you to do, the bits that I've already done, if you take your 4 by 4 pieces and adhere your, first of all your Whisper White and then your DSP, and then do the same for your 3 by 3 and then do the same for your 2 by 2. Okay, so that's that one dealt with. And then with these ones, okay, what you need to do is Whisper White and then your DSP. Okay, by doing it that way I have saved you a lot of boredom, I think. So what we need to do now, let's move those bits there, is to adhere our easel parts onto our card. Now this is really quite straightforward. All you need to do is this flap here, the edge flap, not the one that's got the crease up here, just that one. You need to put your Tombow on, or whatever adhesive you're using. I just think Tombow's best for this one. Now on this large one, this was a 4 by 8 and this is a 4 by 4. So you're going to pop this on like that. Line it up, make sure it's all nice and straight, and it should fit beautifully all the way around. And then give it a nice squeeze to make sure that the Tombow gets hold of it. Okay, so you should finish up with that. Okay, now this gives you a chance to decide whether you'd like to have the same pattern on both. or like me, have something different. Okay, so there's that one. Now we can do this one. In case you didn't quite get that, let me show you another way of doing it. With this fold, the crumb cake that you can see, you could fold it back like that, so you got this bit up, and then just put your glue on that bit. I don't know if that makes it easier to understand what I was saying or not, but if one way didn't work, the other one will, I'm sure. But then open it back up again, so you can get your next sheet, your 3x3 square. Pop that on top, line it up, and if you're using Tombow, you've got a bit of time to manoeuvre it into position. Okay. And again, give it a squeeze to make sure that Tombow does its job. And you should find that that's what you've got. And then the last one, I think this is probably the easiest way to explain it, so I'll do it this way. And then I'm going to pop that on top. And then I've got that. Okay. Don't forget, if you've got a directional pattern, make sure you put it on in the right way. So next what we need to do is to decorate these. What I have also prepared ahead of time is I have done a lot of fussy cutting with these birds. I went through one sheet of the designer series paper, which is called Bird Ballad, and I picked off all the birds I could see that were like robins. Okay, so they're all the same. This is why I think this is going to be finish up as a masculine card, because it's crumb cake there and it's picking up crumb cake there. It's got an orangey colour there. That's Calypso Coral. So I think I won't know until the final final card is all put together. Now I forgot to mention that you will need plenty of scraps in Whisper White and also in crumb cake. If you don't want to do the fussy cutting, the other idea that I have, which you may prefer, is to use your die, find the sheet that's got these birds on, all different birds, and that's right, I got that one. I did this one first, but then I saw these birds were the same, so I thought that would be nice like that. What we're aiming for, now that I can show you those, is to have that going on like that. Okay, so you can either do it like that, or I'll show you how I'm doing mine. Alright, I will have to make another one now to use those. And I know more or less what I'm going to do with these as well. So what we need is, we need some white, Whisper White scalloped circles, and if you're going to be doing my way, you want some crumb cake circles. I will put the sizes of these in the box below. I think this is 5 and 6. Let me get my dies and I can tell you now. I've used our Layering Circles framelits. Right, these are the ones that I've used. So that's number 5 and number 6. Okay. So the straight cuts are 5 and 6. And my scallops are 5 and 6 again. Okay. So let's just move these birds out of the way. I'm going to bring my Big Shot up. What else do I need? There's one other bit of work that I need my Big Shot, and that is for the sentiment. And the sentiment I'm using is Happy Birthday. Yep. And that is from Magnolia Blooms. Now this stamp set is in our mini catalogue, which has been designed primarily but not just for beginners. I've marked all mine with little hearts so that I know that these are from the little catalogue, but there is no reason why you couldn't, no matter how experienced you are, there's no reason why you couldn't buy these stamp sets. You know, you can see for yourself that it's just so easy to make lovely cards with. So if you haven't seen the mini catalogue and you would like to, if you're one of my customers, please ask. If you're in Europe and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, let me know and I'll be happy to send you one. If you're outside of my markets, then please check with your demonstrator. They can get hold of them for you. So I'm going to stamp this with Memento ink, and if I'm using black, I prefer to use Memento because I find that it washes off the stamps better, the photopolymer stamps. I'm going to be die cutting this as well. Come on, ink up. I know you've got plenty of ink. There we go, lovely. So the die that I'm going to be using to die cut this is from the rectangle stitched dies, and I'm using that little one that's on its own because that fits absolutely perfectly, and that should fit across the front square nicely as well. Methinks might go over the edge slightly, but I can live with that. So that's what we need. With the circles, you need to do, if you're again doing mine with the fussy cutting, you need a number 5 and a number 6 of the white, and a number 5 and a number 6 of the crumb cake. Crumb cake is straight cut and the whisper white is the scallops. If you're doing this design, then all you need to do is you want number 5 for the designer series paper and number 6, and then you need the scallops in 5 and 6. And the reason I'm using white as the scallops is because they just look a lot better on there. If you used, I don't know if I've got any left out. What did I do with them? I did try it. Oh, here they are. I didn't think that the crumb cake showed up very well on there. Well, it looks quite nice with the two, doesn't it? Well, I'm not changing my plans now, but it shows you that, you know, plenty of options, just play around. That's the fun of card making. So what I will do is, because again I've already prepared my circles, but I seem to have lost them. Oh, I know what I did with them. They were a bit curly, so I put them under here, didn't I? Right, okay. I will do one of each. So I'll bring my big shot up. First of all, I'll do my die cutting of my sentiment. Let's turn that over because the die is jumping a bit. That's better. Come back a bit and cut that Y. Let me just make sure that's straight. I think that's straight. So we cut that one. Now that one I'm not going to layer onto anything. So do I need this? Yes, I do. Hold on. I want to do one scallop, don't I? But if I push that through, I can get the crumb cake in here as well. So that's number 6. I'll use number 6 here. Get a scrap. Yep, that's good. There's that one. And that one. And the other thing that I've done with my ones, these, is I have embossed them with the Subtles folder. So I'm going to do this, which, yes, I have it here. So I need that. I need to take that away, bring in my regular platform and one cutting mat. And I need to spritz this with some water. As usual, you won't see me do it, but you'll hear it. Okay. And this is why that was wet, why it had gone curly. Right, that way, that way. And don't forget, when you're using these 6x6 folders, put your fold in first. It's a good idea to just get into the habit of always putting your embossing folders in with the fold first, whether they're 6x6 or not. It's good practice. And it should help you never forget to put it in first as well. Right, I think that's it as far as my big shot is concerned. Oh, there we go. So you will find that this is really very, very close. So you don't get much white on it. If you prefer it to be a lot bigger than that, you need to put a smaller one on there. I've got a small white one. I've got a big. This isn't the right colour way, but at least it showed you how much of a frame you'd get if you used a larger size. So I'm going to stick to this. Okay, so that was on that one, wasn't it, what I've just done? So, Tombow, there we go. I've got so much cardstock and everything here, I can't find a thing. Let's make the curl go downwards. There we go. So there's that. And with my birds, let's bring those back. I think I've decided how I want to put these on. I was playing with them before, and I decided that what I thought looked quite nice was to have these two like this. What do you think? Looks alright, doesn't it? That looks quite cute. And one of these is quite a bit bigger than the others, and I think it's this one. So I thought he could go on there. I'm quite happy for his tail to come over the edge. The other way, just to show you, if I wanted to use these, they're quite big for my my circles, and I couldn't really quite get them. So I'm going to stick with my two like that. I'm going to bring my silicone mat over for this, because they do need quite a bit of attention paid to their feet. The only thing I would recommend is that you pay attention to which way your lines are going on here. If you want them at an angle, go for it, but make sure you get them both on the angle. No, I'm going to go straight. Or do I want to go... In fact, yeah, I'm going upwards. Okay. I'm going to bring that one right the way over. I will just show you what I've done to the feet. It's my way of cheating. Let me just get these adhered together. I hope that's an affectionate look they've got for each other rather than arguing. Put your own spin on that. Right, okay. What I did to cut the gap out in between the feet, because the feet are joined, I wanted that gap out rather than, I didn't want to stick my scissors through and, you know, really be fussy trying to get that bit. So what I do is I just cut the feet apart and then go up, cut that bit out, because when I stick it back down again, I'm going to join that up where I've cut it and nobody's going to notice it. I hope that makes sense. Just make sure I put some glue on it. Oops, whoops. I said upright, didn't I? There we go. See, as it gets stuck down, nobody would know that you've cut that apart. So that's those two. Okay, let's move that over there. And this. Right, now, should we, we'll put these on once we've put these together. Right, so what we do is, if you line these up, if you do it this way, it's least confusing and you're less likely to make a mistake, okay? So what we have to do is take this one and turn them over. This one, open that out like that and line this up. I hope you've all got your grid paper, because honestly, a job like this is absolutely brilliant. So you line that up there, make sure that's nice and straight. Then this one, let me just remind myself a minute. Right, this one, oops, get lined up again. In fact, I know what I did the other day, what made this so much easier. Excuse me a minute, I need to reach over to get something. It doesn't matter which one you use, but get yourself a nice large punch. Once you've got that in position, straight and straight along there, put a punch on it, and that won't be going anywhere. now we can concentrate on this one. So on top, okay, you don't have to open it, but you've had it like this, alright, and you're just turning it over and you're going to bring it up here. You need a pencil, and what you need to do is line this bottom bit here, count 3 squares, okay, and 2 squares there. You got 2 squares there, 3 there, so you know you're nice and straight. Now this is a bit for, and I'm on the inches sheet here. Now this is a bit for if you're in the US, you could do it so that you've only got the 2 squares, move it up. Okay, so you would adhere it like that. In fact, shall I do that? Okay, I'm going to do it the way that I'm recommending the US to do it. For the rest of the world, UK and Australia, if you want it to be the same gaps as I've got on this one, you want 3. Okay, this is, I'm going to be making it shorter than that, but by the time I've finished, at least one, the US will know what they can do, and I just knocked one of my things on the floor. Right, there we go, let's pick that up again. The US will know whether theirs works or not, but also it will give UK and the rest of the market a chance to see how it looks, and you may prefer it standing up straighter because it will stand up more straight than that. Right, so this is for my North American friends. So what you do, once you've got your 2 squares there and 2 squares there, draw a line to line up with the edge of the bottom layer, and one line there as well. Just a very faint line. So what you're going to do now is you're going to put some glue on here, but you are not going to put glue on this little bit here. You see how on here this is coming out? That is coming out 3 squares. What I'm doing now is I'm only coming out 2 squares. So you're going to put glue above it. Okay, don't twist your card around or anything. You keep it the way I've shown you to do, so that you don't finish up gluing it on the wrong bit. Now, with this still straight, I moved it out of the way, but that's okay, we can put it back again. That's straight and that's straight. Yep. So you are going to turn it over just the way you did that way, turning it back again, and you're going to put this so that this is 2 squares down, 2 squares in. Okay, it's Tombow, so you've got a bit of time there to work on it. So as you can see, I've got, let me get my pencil back again. I've got 2 squares in, 2 squares in, 2 squares up, 2 squares up. Now what will happen with this is this will stand up here and this will stand up here. And you know what? I think that's going to be better. So let me get the other one. Right, okay, so this is still sitting this way, which is the same way as that one is, same way as that one is. So what you're going to do, turn it over, and you're going to go onto this one now. Let's line that one up. I'm making it on my dark line. Make sure that's straight. That's straight. Anchor that down. I don't think that one needs it, does it? So what you're going to do now is you're bringing this one up, and again you are going to measure 2 squares, 2 squares, 2 squares and 2 squares. And make sure you're straight here as well, of course. And then pencil line, come down, put glue on, turn it over the same way that you came, pop it on top of this one, make sure you're straight, and line it up 2 and 2. If you haven't ever bought this grid paper, it really is a brilliant aid for you, and it's real value for money, because one pad you get 100 sheets on it. One side is inches, the other side is metric. I couldn't work without mine. Right, now we've got this one that's coming up. Oh, you silly what's it, you've done it on the wrong side. I heard you shouting at me. Okay, we don't panic on this. Let's see if we're going to start the video all over, or whether we can rescue this. Right, now you think I can't rescue that, don't you? You may be right. Right, what I need is another piece like that. Oh my goodness, this is the most dramatic rescue you've seen me do. Right, so that was the 3x3. Three, 3. Oh, of course it wasn't 3x3, was it? It's 2 5/8. Well, no big shakes, I can do 2 5/8. I felt that that wasn't going down right. Right. There we go. Nobody would ever know, apart from you and me. Don't tell anybody. That might be a bit bumpy when I put this one on top, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be putting something else on top of it anyway. What have I done with my tweezers? Here they are. There we go. What I should have done is moved it up there before I stuck it down. So what did I do with it? Here we go. Now is that going to notice? No, because that's going down on the ground. Right, let's try that again. Well, whoopsie whoopsie, eh? Right, let's get this lined up again. Yep, let's try getting nervous now. Move that down to 2 and 2, and that 2 and 2. Right, now it should work. So that one comes up like that, that one comes up like that, and then I need something to put that there. So let's see if I can show you that sideways. You see that's staying in position with me tipping it without actually holding the bits, whereas the other one I had to hold them all. Right, okay. This one obviously I need to put an anchor down for it, but let's get these done first. Now I'm going to plop these towards the top because a lot of the easel gets hidden behind the one there. So I want as much as possible showing up here. Let me show you that. Okay. That's not very good positioning, but it gives you the idea. And I'm not going to be using dimensionals on it either. This really does have enough, the whole card has enough thickness to it. I think what I might do, not now, but once I finish the video, I might put some little hearts up there. So I think that looks as if they could be arguing. But if I put some hearts there, then it would look like love, wouldn't it? Right, now this one. Okay, he's going to go towards the top as well. Again, keep the lines straight. And then on this one, actually I wonder, if I did that coming up like that, I wonder, no, stick to what you plan to do. So I'm going to put this onto the front one, and I'm just planning to use a narrow strip of crumb cake cardstock as my stopper. So I'm going to put this halfway between. Well, the stitched lines are by the edge of the gingham paper, so that's all right, isn't it? So all I'm going to do now, in fact, what have I got here? I'm sure I brought a narrow strip over with me. Well, there's one. I thought my strip was a bit wider than that. Does it really matter? No, I don't think so. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do. Strip across like that, because you can see that there's a strip there, which is why I was happier with the other one, which was a bit wider. It was a bit more obvious. But it's, today's video is not meant to be, is it? There's another one there, but that's still not the right one. Okay, give up. Right. Is that the same? Probably. So I could do that like a few thicknesses, couldn't I? And then that would be the bulk. And that's too big to put on there. But that would look quite nice. No, it wouldn't. Right. Ignore me talking to myself. We know that that is 1 5/8. So if I cut these to 1 5/8 as well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer them together. It'd be nice if I could get a few of them. 1 5/8. 1 5/8. If you follow my blog, you would have seen the other day that I did something where I layered several times. It was an image, I think it was on my tulip. Oh right, yes it was on my tulip card. And I wanted to put quite a large piece onto dimensionals. But I wasn't happy that dimensionals wouldn't allow it to bend a bit in the middle. So rather than run the risk of that, I just cut several of the squares. It was the square, oh, no not squares, it was the oblongs of the Stitched So Sweetly dies, the ones that have got the scalloped edge on them as well. That's alright, they fit okay. In fact, that one's a bit wider, isn't it? I'd better put those on top. There we go. So is that the wider one? I think so. So that's better go on the top and the other one go on the bottom. Then that's a nice ridge for the top, the smallest easel to rest against. I really wished I'd bought the little trinket things. Can't think what set they're with. It might be with the bird Ballad, because that would have been nice just to have a little trinket there. A lot nicer than just having a plain band like this. But we'll see. Right, okay, let's just pop this one here. So how far up do we need to go? So that was half an inch, wasn't it? Oh, there we go. Oh, pleased with that. Not the most straightforward demonstration I've ever done, but I was able to recover. So let me show. Oh, it was sideways that it wasn't falling over with. Okay, so let me show you this so you can see it face on. There we go. I think I would have preferred the happy birthday on crumb cake. I can see me changing that. You saw how I changed that layer that I did wrong, just did a new one, adhered it on top. I'm going to do that with that. I'm going to do that as crumb cake and redo it. But I'm not going to make you sit and watch me, and I'm going to put Calypso Coral Heart up there as well. So if you want to see what this looks like totally finished, check out my blog tomorrow, which will be the 19th of January, and you will see it all. Where's my other card gone? Oh, I've lost it. Oh no, here it is. Let's just bring this one back. Oh, I've squashed that. Oh, that's all right. Right, and the other thing I want to do, let me just show you, first of all, the difference. Okay, this one, this comes back further, and from where I'm sitting, I definitely prefer this one. But the important thing is, let me just check to see whether this will go in the American envelope. Yes, this is 5 inches. So there you go. If you're American, 2 squares and 2 squares. If you're UK, 2 squares and 3 squares, unless you prefer the American size, which I have to say I do, because it means these easels are standing up better. So there we go. Many thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed that. Sorry about the huge blooper, but it's staying in so you can see it. And if you have any comments to make or questions, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always happy to answer your questions, and I do enjoy reading your feedback. If you'd like to be notified each time I upload a new video, please click on the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner and click on the bell so that you get notifications. in the box below I will put all the measurements in inches and in metric, and where the score lines are and all of that, and all the products I've used, and I will link them all back to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. And don't forget, we are going through a celebration at the moment, which means for every £45 or €60 you spend, you can choose a gift from the celebration brochure. If you don't have the current catalogues or the celebration brochures, let me know and I'll be more than happy to put them in the post for you, assuming that you don't already have your own demonstrator. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.